Hey guys, welcome back to Honda How To. In today's video, we're going to start building on Trent's car. This is going to be Honda Civic Build Part 1, so stay tuned. And before we get into that, I just wanted to thank all you guys that have stuck around with me. I know it's been kind of spaced out between each video, and I'm trying to get better on that. And I also wanted to mention all the nice people in the comments. You know, there's a whole bunch of haters in the comments as well, and you know, if you're gonna leave a hateful comment, I'm not even gonna respond to you. You're not gonna get a rise out of me. I just really don't care. But all the other people that comment really nice things, like I got one today that said, I've learned so much from you, thanks for sharing your passion. You know, comments like that make me feel good. And all the people that leave disrespectful comments, don't really care. Go leave a disrespectful comment on somebody else's channel who actually is gonna give a shit. So, alright, let's get into the build. Well, this is the last time this thing will ever drive with this engine in it. Last time it'll ever run with this engine in it. Maybe. Do you see the valve cover gasket? Alright, let's get to work. First things first, disconnect the negative battery cable. And another little tip, if you know you're going to be taking stuff off and you know it's going to be old and rusty, like these exhaust manifold bolts, make sure you spray those with penetrating oil, because you are going to have to take that off to remove the engine.
Yoga.
Little.
Now we're going to drain the coolant. Just got it right here. Okay, 17 mil. Now we're going to drain the oil. Alright, the coolant's done draining. Now we're going to do the exhaust. Gonna take the wheels off, get the axles out. You guys for sure can do this in your driveway with a couple of jacks and some stands. Me and Derek have done it many times. It's just kind of nice. We got a lift here, so I mean, it's a little bit tougher in your driveway, but we've done it so many times that we're pretty used to it now, so we're gonna get to that. Okay, we're gonna do the exhaust. This right here is a 14 millimeter and this is a 12 millimeter. Yeah, hammer. Oh, I got it. Maybe. Just do the other side quick. Should come loose. Let me lift up on the exhaust. There we go. And those are out. Well, this kind of sucks. I just stepped back away from the car and I stepped on my tripod and it broke the leg off of it. So now we can't do kind of standing shots because the tripod's like a foot tall. So yeah, we'll just try to figure out something from here. Now we're gonna take the linkage out. Derek already got this one loose, and now we have to knock this pin out. Make sure you lube this thing because it's a pain. Now we're taking off the back part of the shifter linkage. It's a little tight. The batteries popped out. Yeah, there you go. Now we're going to take the wheels off, and then we're going to take the axles out. We're going to take a 32 millimeter and take off the axle nut. Okay, now we're going to take the bottom of the wishbone out. This side and the other side are both 17 millimeter. And then we're going to take this clamp out for the wishbone. I think this one's a 14 mil? Yeah, 14 mil. And make sure, I can't really get you in there here. Let me get a light. Make sure you lube both of these up really, really well, because they usually get stuck. So let's get to that. Okay, and that little space back there, usually you can take like a chisel or kind of a tapered flathead screwdriver and pound in there and kind of separate it. Just be careful because you don't want it separated too much because then the threads won't line up with the bolt. So just kind of get in there and just lightly open it up, not too terribly much, and the strut should slide right out of the wishbone. Alright, now we're going to take the outer tie rod end off. The easiest way to do this, do not use a pickle fork in here because it'll ruin your boot. And do not take the nut off and hit at the bottom of the stud. Just take your nut off and then take a hammer and hit the base of the spindle here, and the tie rod should just pop out of there. Now we're taking the upper ball joint off. Once you do the same scenario with the spindle on the outer tie rod end, you zip that off and then you hit the base of this and that upper control arm should pop out. All of this will lean out of the way and you should get your axle out. Okay, so we got everything put back together. We got the wishbone back in. We got that bolt that clamps the wishbone to the shock. And then we got the outer tie rod end back together, and we got the upper control arm bolted back together, just so we can wheel this thing around with the engine out of it. So now all you gotta do is do the same exact thing to the other side, and then that step will be done. Okay, so we're back on the ground. Pulled the radiator out. The radiator's pretty simple to get out. Just took it out because it's out of the, it gives us a little bit more space here. Next, I'll be pulling all this AC stuff out because he's not going to run AC. Power steering pump's leaving. We got to disconnect all the wires. That's pretty straightforward. We got to disconnect the fuel There's 2 coolant lines going to the heater core on the firewall, and be sure to be careful with those because the spouts of the heater core that come out are copper and they bend really easy. I've done that a couple times and it's not fun because you gotta pull the dash to put a new heater core in, so that's never fun. What else? Yeah, it's pretty much just wiring and the mounts now, so let's get to that. Okay, so we pretty much got everything off and ready to pull the engine. I pulled all the AC stuff because this car isn't going to have AC. It never really worked. When Trent got it, the system was long gone. So, yeah, now all we got to do, all you really got to do is we disconnected the harness from the computer. So we're going to pull the engine with the harness. Because I don't know if we're going to be using this harness. I don't know if Trent wants to buy a rye-wire harness or what he's going to do with this harness. But we're pulling the engine with the harness. So, you literally don't have to unhook very much. You got to unhook your O2 sensor and a couple other things just at the computer. And then over on this side there's a plug for your other portion of your harness. And then you just kind of flop it all on top of the engine and it pretty much pulls out. Otherwise, if you're going to keep the harness in the engine, you just start unplugging everything and make sure, if you don't know what you're doing, make sure you label everything. And there's a lot of people that get the throttle position sensor and the map sensor mixed up, so make sure you label those. And make sure whenever you're doing a swap or whatever, you're pulling an engine, whatever, there's a ground wire here on the thermostat. Make sure you have that hooked up because I've seen a lot of engines not run because of that ground wire. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All we gotta do is really pull the mounts, pull the engine, and that's about it. Alright, now we're getting ready to pull the engine. Same rules apply with a cherry picker. This is just gonna be a little bit easier because we have a lift. And we're gonna pull it from the bottom instead of the top, so.
Yoga.
Ryan Little.
Japan. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. Me and Derek are pretty well spent, pretty tired. So, day one was a success. We got the engine completely out, tranny out. Now, we're gonna start cleaning it, start doing a whole bunch of other stuff to it and getting it ready for the single cam. So, if you guys like what you see, make sure to leave a comment and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys in the future. Peace.